Today we're going to be doing a deck profile of one of my favorite grass decks, Teal Mask Ogerpon Hydrapple. We're going to be looking over how this deck competes in the post Chaos Rising format. So stay tuned, guys. Hey, what is up, guys? This is Platinum Point, and I'm here to bring you guys yet again another Pokemon deck profile. As we mentioned in in the intro, we're going to be doing a deck profile on Ogerpon Hydrapple, one of my favorite grass decks of the current meta. I've been testing around with quite a few. I tested Ogerpon Venusaur. I like that list, but I felt like it didn't have as much of an oomph as the Hydrapple variant does, because Hydrapple allows you to energy accelerate as well, so you could hit for larger numbers. And honestly, I chose that variant as my final grass build because I like Teal Mask Ogerpon, or just Ogerpon in general, and I also like friggin' Hydrapple. Hydrapple was one of my favorite of the Applin line. It looked so cool when I saw it in the DLC. So I decided to merge the two ideas and look at what the meta's been playing with this. And this is my take on it. So before we begin, make sure you like the video and subscribe if you haven't. My goal is to get to 1,000. So I hope I can get to 1,000 very shortly. Hopefully by July, if we're lucky. So, without further ado, let's get onto the deck, shall we? Pardon me, I'm still kind of getting over a cold, so my voice may sound a little muffled. So starting off, we play 4 copies of the Teal Mask Ogerpon. So what it does, it has the ability Teal Dance, which once per turn per copy, you get to attach an additional grass energy onto it and then draw a card. So you basically are using this to charge it up. The ability of Teal Dance to charge up most of your grass energy onto the Ogerpon, so that you can either use this as a secondary attacker depending on the matchup, as an early game attacker, or as your secondary attacker, because with its attack Myriad Leaf Shower, it does 30 plus the total number of energy attached to both active Pokemon. So if your Pokemon was running a fat amount of energy, like say in the mirror match, you're going to be hitting for easily 240, which can do revenge knockouts in the mirror match. Against EV Box, you're gonna probably hit 240 as well, easy. But this is mainly here just as a battery to load up as much grass energy as you can, so Hydrapple can swing for big numbers, and also for early game knockouts if you can. So we play 4. Let me put the 4 right there. Next, we play 2 Applin, 2 Diplin, and then 2 Hydrapple. Hydrapple EX to be more accurate. So we're just, the Applin and Diplin line are just pretty much there just to get into the Hydrapple, the main attacker of the deck, which has the ability Ripen Charge. Once per turn, you can attach an additional grass energy to any of your Pokemon, and it heals 30 damage from that Pokemon. So it's really nice. It's a free heal for 30 damage, so essentially if you get Monkey Dory flung damage, you get to heal it off. And then it also has the attack Syrup Storm. This attack does 30 damage plus an additional 30 for each grass energy attached onto the board. So it's not just on itself, but on all of your grass Pokemon. So that's why you're using the Ogerpon. It's essentially a battery to fuel the Hydrapple's attack, since this will most likely be where most of the grass energy is going to be resting on the Ogerpon. So we're playing a 2-2 split just for consistency, because we're playing another stage 2, which is a good support, which is the Meganium line. So 2 Chikorita, 2 Bayleef, and then 2 Meganium from Mega Evolution. So if you don't know what this Meganium does, I mean, not Mega Meganium, just Meganium, for each grass energy attached to any of your Pokemon, it actually gives an additional grass energy. So for each grass energy, you're getting 2 for the price of 1 grass energy card. So essentially it doubles the damage calc for both Syrup Stone and Myriad Leaf Shower, which is really nice. And if you have multiples out, you're just doing tons of damage. But with the math that I've been crunching with this deck, you only need a minimum of about eight energy. I would say eight to nine energy in order to kill most things, because essentially it becomes treated as 18 energy with 9, and then if you have 10 it's 20. So like your max goal if you're trying to deal with chunky Pokemon is 10 energy, because essentially you're doing 10 times, I remember, wait, so it'd be 10 energy, so 10 times 3 is 300, and you have to multiply it again by 2 since each grass energy is doubled. So it's essentially just basically 30 times 20. So you're dealing 600 damage off of 10 energy, which will knock out almost everything in the game. Actually, practically knock out everything in the game. So like you want this Meganium because it just helps the math really easily. Hence why I'm actually only running 12 grass energy. I know some lists play about 13 or 12, but I wanted to fit in more utility cards. Hence why it's we're running 12 energy. We continue on with the Pokemon. We play one Pheasantipity, one Meowth, one Celebi. Celebi is here just to search out any grass Pokemon that you're missing for your combo, or and also your stadium early game. Papabulu as our third attacker, since it can do 220 easy, and it can heal 30 damage from itself, which is also nice. And then lastly, we play one Shaman, only because Slowbro's around, Slowking's around, and this helps stop Slowking from trying to get early game knockouts and help you insulate your board, so that way you can maintain presence. So that's it for the Pokemon. We're gonna move this aside so I can make room for the supporters and items, but I will post the deck list in the description below so you can see, in case you want to know the ratios again. So for supporters, we play 4 Lily's Determination, 3 Boss's Orders. I'm playing 2 Dawn. I know some lists play 1, but the only reason I'm playing 2 is just in case I do have 1 prize, I can still be able to search out my entire stage 2 line with Force of Vitality and just get that set up right away. And if I do happen to still have 2 in the deck, it allows me to set up both the Meganium and the Hydrapple really easy without wasting my hand, which is kind of the key of this deck. I want to be able to use every card in my hand in order to advance the game state and not have to be forced to discard them to search for key pieces. And then lastly, one Lana's Aid. Lana's Aid is here to recycle back any, whether it be an entire evolutionary line or your grass energies in order to push for game. Next, for items, we play 4 Ultra Ball, and then 4 bug catching set. Sorry, I just had a tongue tie. So the reason why I'm playing bug catching set is instead of like Pokepad or even Buddy Buddy Poffin, is because Buddy Buddy Poffin we're only running about, I think, 4 or 5 Pokemon with 70 HP or less, and Pokepad is only fine. We would only play Pokepad if this was rotated out. And bug catching set is still in rotation, so I think you have to run it because it does have the ability. You get to check the top 7 cards of your deck, and then you get to add any combination of the 2, which is either grass Pokemon or basic grass energy. And if you, depending on your board state, that can just be, that allows you to snowball. Like if you have multiple grass energy and you have multiple Ogerpon on board, you get to turn those energies into 1-for-1 draws, while at the same time charging up the battery for your Hydrapple to just take easy knockouts. So I like the inclusion of it and why it's such a necessary piece of the engine. Continuing on with more recovery options, when we play 2 Night Stretcher. Even though I play in Lana's Aid and I've seen some builds cut 1, I just like to have consistency and being able to insulate my combos, my game plan, because the problem with this deck is the minute you lose any of your key combo pieces in order for you to like just snowball, it takes a long time for this deck to recover if you don't have those. Like, because the only way you can get them back is either you have to hope that you draw the Lana's Aid or search it out, or you Night Stretcher it. So like Night Stretcher is the only other option besides Lana's Aid, and I think Night Stretcher is better for picking out those key pieces that you need, especially if it's just a one piece that was needed. And then you can save the Lana's Aid for more like drastic recovery, or even if you just want to win more by grabbing more energy. And then continuing on with the items, we play 1 copy of Special Red Card, and then 1 copy of Unfair Stamp. I know Unfair Stamp is pretty cope. Even I say it's kind of cope, but for this list, it's probably the best A spec because like you don't need Hero's Cape. You could play Maximum Belt, but I don't see a need right now. If the meta kind of shifts where we need to take bigger hits, like to consistently take big hits, swing big, I mean, then I'll cut this down for Maximum Belt, but I think the 1/1 line is fine. And then for our stadium, we play 4 Forest of Vitality. They're pretty much staple in the stack. It's basically Forest of Giant Plants, except you can't use it on your first turn, which is really nice. And it just allows you to get into your stage 2, hence why you don't need Rare Candy for this deck. So, and then for energy, we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I thought I played 12. I actually played 13. I think I did. Like, I was editing this deck so many times. So the last time I edited it, it was 12. But I guess I probably can't remember. What did I cut from here? Oh, yeah. I was playing Chorus Tenacity. But after testing, I realized Celebi kind of does the same thing. And honestly, what you need more is Grass Energy, but I feel like 14 is overkill. 13 is the right number for this list. And I think in just testing, I find that the 14th one is just sometimes it's just a brick. I could cut this back down to 12 if I want to fit in more supporters. Like, one other supporter I was thinking of playing was another Lana's Aid, just so I can be able to have more recursion, because early game your opponent does want to kind of kneecap you by taking out the Meganium, the Hydrapples early, because since they're so low HP. So you want to be able to reset those up as often as you can. And if you're going up against a good player that knows how to handle this matchup, they're going to target down the Chikorita and the Applin really quickly. So like, I've been thinking about running a second Lana's Aid. So hopefully we can check. Hopefully through testing, I might show you case an update on how I would run this. But this is right now what I've been currently testing. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I will be doing more videos like this in the near future. The next deck I'm thinking about showcasing once I get the pieces is my take on EV Box as well as Ogre Box, because I feel like Ogre Terra Box is also a really strong viable deck, and it's very different from this version of Ogerpon, and I will be happy to showcase that. So I hope you guys like this video. Once again, this is Platinum Point. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. False, crack that like button and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out and stay on point, guys.